Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 of the Cardboard Animals project. And today we're going to be able to put designs on your animals. So you're going to need a few things for this project in order to really make it work well. And you can notice in the notes that some of the things I tell you are optional, and there's some things that you need that are required. If you were lucky enough to have cardboard that is all white, which I had, the only thing that you really need beyond this point would be markers, something that makes a mark onto this. All right, that's pretty much all that you need if you have white cardboard, which if some of you actually did have. If you have brown cardboard, you can actually put your designs right onto the brown cardboard if you wish. The only bad part, though, is that not many colors are going to show up. Black obviously does, but even if you chose colors like purple, blue, red, brown, things like that, it's actually going to show up black or a very, very dark color on your brown cardboard. So if you want to avoid that problem, let's say you did want to add bright colors to your brown cardboard, here's what you need to do. Now, if you had to tape or glue your animal together, just leave it glued and you can draw directly on the animal. If you were able to get it all to be fit and you can take the parts off, here's the trick on how to turn brown cardboard white. Snag a piece of paper. Now what you're going to have to do is you are going to have to trace your cardboard body that you have. And you're going to need to trace it twice because one has to go on one side of your animal and one has to go on the other. So you might need a couple pieces of paper. So what you would do is you would trace these parts out, and you need, again, one for one side, one for the other side. You would trace, cut them out, and then using a white glue or a glue stick, after you have them cut out, you simply glue them on right here. Now you might have to cut the notches back in there so that your cardboard slides in place. But if you have brown cardboard, trace it, take this, after you cut it, cut this out, take this and glue it onto here, and now you will have a white outside to your animal on both this side. Trace and cut this, and it'll be on the opposite side too. You also want to do that for the other parts that you have. So for my rabbit, I've got the bunny ears, so I'm going to want to trace one side of the bunny ears, and then the other side of the bunny ears. Cut, glue, cut, glue. Same with the legs. Okay? So that's if you have brown cardboard or even thin cardboard or cardboard that's got like a printing on it, such as like a box from like a TV. Generally, there'll be writing and stuff on the box. And there'll be like a picture or something like that. You want to get rid of that? This is the way to do it. Trace your animal. If you can dismantle it like I was able to, trace it, cut it, and glue it, and then it'll give you a nice white template to color on. So that's what I've got here. So if you wanted to do that, you could. If you have brown cardboard and you glued it and you can't dismantle it, then you can put the designs directly on the cardboard, but you're going to have to hold it because you're going to have all these parts attached. So you're going to have to use problem-solving skills to figure out how you can get this to work. So I'm going to put my rabbit back together for right now. All right? So our job, our goal, is to put some designs on your animals now. Now, you'll notice in the document that I have a whole bunch of pictures at the end of different sculptures from Oaxaca. It's a region in Mexico that is very, very, very famous and well known for their wood carving animal sculptures. They take a large piece of wood and in multiple pieces, and they trim it down with a very sharp knife, and they cut it down to the shape that they need, and they attach the parts. And after all the parts are nicely attached, they have these incredible artists, these incredible painters that will go in and paint these designs all over it. Now, as you'll notice in the document, a lot of those animals were blue because after they got the carving all done, they gave it one base coat of a certain color, whether it's orange or yellow or blue. A lot of blue sculptures were painted. Then after the paint dried, they went in with a finer paintbrush and started to paint these incredible designs, as you can see on that document. They're just absolutely well done, very, very detailed, and it took a lot of time to be able to do. So what we're going to do is you're going to be able to put designs on your animal as well. Now again, this is challenging if you have it taped or glued. If you do have it taped, you can peel this off and redo parts of it if you retape it if you want to dismantle it. If you have it glued, leave it like this, but you're going to have to figure out what you would like to do. Okay? So I'm going to dismantle part of mine, just like so. And I'm using Sharpies. I'm fortunate enough to have a nice collection of Sharpies, but if you have regular markers, you can. You might want to stay away from colored pencils, especially very sharp ones, because you'll actually cut right through the cardboard, which may not be a problem, but you probably want to keep it as smooth as you possibly can. Crayon may work as well, but you don't want to press down again too hard to where you dent it. Luckily, my Sharpies are good to go. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to figure out where the animal's eyes and nose are, because I do want to keep those facial features ready. I also might want to do the rabbit's ears, but if you're drawing the shark, that doesn't have ears, it's got fins. But you still want to be able to keep where the eyes are. So what I'm going to do is, this is the front face of my rabbit, so here's its eyes. So I am going to just draw some eyes. You'll notice on the sculptures too, a lot of the eyes are oversized. They drew them really big because the artist wanted to emphasize or show that the eyes are a very important part of the animal itself. So I did my eyes in brown, and then let's say that I want to color them inside with blue. Again, with the white paper or white cardboard, you're able to use lots of colors. And there you go. Now I want to keep the facial features, so I need to figure out where the nose is. And the nose for my rabbit, if I put this back on, you can see that's where the eyes are, not bad. And the nose is probably this point right there. So I want to take care of these facial features. All right, and as you can see now with the body, I've got one nose on this side, and I'm going to try to draw the same type of nose on the other side. I probably didn't do a very good job. That's okay. I'll just do my best. I'll talk more about what you want to draw on one side and the other. All right, I've got those. All right, now I should be okay to begin drawing my designs. I'm going to start with the body. I'm going to save that later. I'm just going to get started a little bit to show you what you can do. Please look at the examples on the sheet, on the document, because you can take any of those designs there, and there are so many to pick from. And you want this thing to be as vibrant colored as you can. So use as much color as you possibly can for this. Now what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to draw patterns that are on here that match on the other side. You do not have to do that. With the example that I have with my bear, which I will show you, the design I put on one side, I try to put the exact same on the other. That's called symmetry, where one side is the same as the other side. So let's say, for example, I want to try to do that. So what I'm going to do is I want to figure out a nice way how to do this. So I'm going to connect this notch with this one right here. Just draw a simple line. Then I'm going to flip it over and do the same thing there. At least I have that part to be the same. Okay? Now I'm going to go from this little curve, and I'm going to find a spot over here to kind of put this in 3 different chunks, 3 different areas to work in. If I want to split it more, I can. So I went right from the inside. Now what I'm going to do is, where that is, I'm going to put a little mark right there to let me know that's where I start. And then I'm going to check this spot right there and make a little mark there, and that's where I know where to end. And it is a straight line, so I'm going to connect those two. My cardboard's a little bumpy, as it should be, so I'm just going to try to draw the best I can. All right, now using any colors that you want, even including black if you wish, I'm going to start drawing some designs on this. And you can see with that sculpture that there's a lot of choices on all those sculptures. So you can pick ones that you wish that you could do, that you would like to do. I'm just simply going to put some stripes. A lot of times they just use simple stripes. And then in between the stripes, they put dots. They like to do things like that. I'm going to see what I can do here. Again, I am just creating something right off the top of my head. And I'm going to put one there and another one right there. Okay. Now I'm going to work on this side, and then I'm going to try to get it matched on the other side as well. All right, so simply just do that. And then I'm going to split this into... Now the reason why I'm not drawing the pink right through the purple is I probably don't want to get the purple marker, the purple color in this pink marker. So I'm not drawing directly through. I'm kind of just drawing in between. because markers get contaminated. Even Sharpies do quite quickly. All right, so that's why I tend to draw around the darker lines with the lighter colors. Okay, now I'm going to take that and swap it out for blue. I'm just going to draw like a series of ovals and circles on the inside of this. And they match the size of the space. So as you just get smaller, my circles get smaller too, almost to the point of dots. All right, so now I'm doing this quite sloppy. I want you guys to do a much better job than what I'm doing, please. But the whole point is to use color and pattern, repeating pattern throughout your design. This one's going to be quite small all the way down. There we go. Now notice though, I left a bunch of my project white. We don't have the opportunity to paint this whole thing blue and then go over it with anything easier because many of you don't have paint. So instead, I'm leaving it white and just drawing my designs right on it like you draw on a white piece of paper. All right, so now what I'd want to do then is I want to get this same design just flipped over on the other side. So that, again, I'm going quite fast. You guys can go slower. Please take your time. You want something that's really, really neat and well done. That's what we're hoping for. All right, so then I would just want to do the pink lines just like I did here. I went 1, 2, 3. I'd want to do 1, 2, 3, and then do the same thing with the dots. Okay, and then use your colors as much as you possibly can. Then I would take care of drawing a pattern on the legs on this side, pattern on the legs on that side, pattern on the face here and ears, pattern on the back of the head right there and the ears. Then you reassemble it and you will have your cool design animal that's based on Oaxacan sculptures. And that's all that what it is. It's going to be all pattern based with vibrant colors. And you can see that some of this gets covered up because the legs, that's just what happens. And that's fine. Don't worry about it if you have a pattern. Oh my goodness, it's covered up. It's okay. Don't worry about it. Okay, so you want to complete this whole thing, vibrant colors as much as you can. And here I'll show you my bear. Here is my bear. There's his face with his eyes. I made a black nose, so I got patterns. So if I disassemble him, I started with the body. And what patterns I have here, I matched on the opposite side. I tried to. All right. I really enjoyed doing this project because Oaxacan sculptures are very difficult to do. And the amazing amount of time and detail that they go into creating them is just incredible. All right. So then I have the legs. I did this curvy, wavy shape, kind of looks like a baseball or basketball lines. I've got that here. I've got dots, spikes. And then I also put in claws because that's what the bear has. So I put the claws on the front and back. Then here I just did a series of lines in different colors. So there's the claws on the back. Then the bear's head, which is kind of small, I just put dots with stripes. There's his eyes. And then I put these zigzag patterns with dots there. And then if I reassemble him, there he is. And he stands up just fine. But there's the patterns on it. We're kind of matching what's on those pictures in the document. So go crazy with the patterns and the colors, please. I really want you to do that because that's what they did in Oaxacan sculptures as well. So if you have it glued, you are going to have to kind of hold it like this, and you can kind of draw in between and do the best that you possibly can. Please do. You want designs on both sides. You do not want to leave any side empty. It should be filled in like you see here. Both sides of the legs, body, head, fins, whatever that you did. Okay? Even if you made something like a turtle, you still want designs on the belly. They just don't have to be as detailed, but you still want to put something on the belly if your animal is kind of like laying down or not standing up. It should be standing up, balanced like this, with something to hold it up. Okay, friends? So this is what we're looking for. Now, when you take a picture of this, see if you can take a picture from both sides. Like here, like take a picture of it looking this way, and then take a picture of it looking that way. All right, I want to see both sides. If you can stack your animals like this, take picture going this way, and then flip them around, and take a picture going that way. And that way I can see both sides of your animal. Now, I did mention that whatever designs you put here, you want to put on this side, you don't necessarily have to do that. But that's what those artists did in Oaxaca. They matched what was on one side to the other. But if you want to get extra creative, these designs here I put on my bear, I can do something totally different on the other side if you wish. But just keep the facial features. Figure out where those are first, eyes, nose. If you did like the shark, you're going to want to figure out like the line of the mouth possibly, and especially where the eyes are. And then for any other animal, look for those features. If you made an animal with claws, put the claws in there. That's okay. As you can see in some of those pictures in the document, they did that as well. So just enjoy coming up with these crazy designs, and the more detailed, the better. And the more colors, the better. So feel free to go really nuts on this stuff, and be careful with your project as much as possible, just because if you have it glued, you definitely don't want it to fall apart or be torn. You've worked really hard on these, so keep it up. There we go. And I'm going to work on my rabbit a little bit more, see if I can get done with that one. Okay? So that's your goal for this week, is to take your animals that you did and you may design them. Remember, if you have brown construction paper and you can dismantle your animal, trace on a piece of paper both sides of it and then glue both sides with the white cutout, and then you'll actually have a white template instead of brown on your animal if you wish. Some of you made more than one or more than two animals. You don't have to put designs on all of them unless, of course, you want to. I'm only asking for two animals that you did. So if you did 4, pick out the coolest 2 that you made and put designs on them. If you have time and you want to put designs on all 4 of them or however much you made, awesome, do that. But I'm looking for nice, creative designs, original. And please look at the document and look at those sculptures on the bottom of the document to give you an idea of some of the designs that you can do. All right? Color, design, go crazy with it. I just can't wait to see what you guys do with these cardboard animals. You worked really hard on them. Now remember to keep stockpiling cardboard. I have another idea in the next coming month or 2 that we are going to be creating with more cardboard. So make sure that you keep that cardboard handy for the future project that's going to be coming up after this one sometime soon. Okay? Just work really hard. Everybody stay safe. Do your best, and I can't wait to see what you guys have.